My name is David, and this is Paracord Design. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the Iskallium Paracord bracelet. First, what you'll need for this is 2 5/8 buckles if you're using a jig, and 2 strands of cord. What I'm going with here is desert tan and mint green. Both are exactly the same length, 7 feet. I'm using the desert tan as the 2-strand core and the mint green as the accent color. Alright, you'll also need to make about, depending on your wrist size, my wrist size is normally about 8 inches. I'm increasing that to 1/2 inch. That should give me a nice good fit. This is what the bracelet will look like. Alright, let's get into this. First off, what you want to do, for this one, it doesn't matter how you make the core strand. I'm gonna go with the method I've been using for the last since the last tutorial, but it really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go with this type of starting cord. What you want to do is take your cord and you want to even up the cords, and then you're gonna start with this side here with the loop. You want to make sure they're even. Then you want to bring the cord up underneath on the bottom buckle. Okay, just like that. Next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna loop the cords over inside the loop on the top end of the buckle, and you're gonna come back out so that you're closing the right side off like this. As you can see here, you're going to loop and close that off, tightening it up. Okay, and you're going to repeat that for the other side, like this and through. Next, you're going to tighten those up. Basically, what you want to come out with is basically like a horse's hoof. That'll give you a nice little gap down the middle here, as I think this would be better for the closing of the design. Next, you want to take your cords through the top buckle. I apologize. And you want to basically, on this one here, what you want to do, instead of keeping them to the opposite sides, you're putting both these cords to one side. I'm going to bring these over to the left like this, in order to tighten off the cord up here. I'm gonna bring the right cord up through the center, and then loop the loop back through, so that it'll close that off right there. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up a bit. I'm gonna hold at the top there. Before I get on with that, let me do the other side. We're gonna take that from the left side of cord 1 here and go left through the loop. Next, you want to take your secondary cord, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to even up the cords like this, and bring one over and one under, and then bring them both down once you get to the center point, and you're going to bring that through. I know it seems weird, but like, just bear with me on that. And now close up the core strand cords. Man, that's loose. Let me go ahead and loosen that one back up a little bit. If you want to make sure your cords are nice and tight, you want to pull any slack out. That'll bring me up to 8 3/4. What you're gonna have is gonna look like this. You're gonna have like a upper cord and a lower cord on both sides. I'm gonna start this off with the mint green. I'm gonna take that cord. I'm going to come underneath the core strand to the left. Then I'm going to take the cord and make a loop going to the right. Next, you want to take this cord and you want to twist it over that loop, bringing that through and making sure the loop that you just made with the upper cord, you're going to bring one end out here and the other end out here. You're going to take the cord that's on the right and you're going to go down through the loop on the right hand side all the way to the left side, bringing that through so that both cords are to one side, as you can see here. That's going to begin the first step in this tutorial. Next, you want to make sure you tighten it up as much as possible on the loop over and then pull out the slack for the bottom cord. Then you're going to pull on this cord right here so that it's nice and tight. You want to get all your slack out of it. And then on the top cord that's coming through above the core strand, you want to pull the slack out of that. And that's the first step right there. Next, you're going to take the bottom cord on the left hand side and repeat the process in the opposite direction. And the upper cord, you're going to make sure you're always going over the first pattern. You're going to always stick to above the cords with the upper cord. And then basically repeat the process. You're going to take the cord, you're going to twist it so that you make like a loop. You're going to bring that loop underneath the cord coming from the right, and you're going to bring that through down like that so that it looks like that. You're going to take this cord here and you're going to bring it down and through to the right. Next, you're going to do the same thing. The pull tab on the left hand side here, you're going to take that and you're going to pull out any slack that there may be in the cords underneath. And then pull this cord here to the right. And now we're going to continue on. The green cord that I have here, the one on the bottom underneath the core strand, is going to come to the right and over. Like I said, always like it's going to be opposite and reversed for the green cord. So the green cord will always come over the desert tan or whatever colors you decide to use. Then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to twist so that it looks like that, and you're going to bring the cords over, and you're going to bring the looped over cord that just came over down through between the core strands, and then basically repeat the process. You're going to take the slack out of that and pull everything tight. I'm going to do this all the way to the end. If this gets a little bit long, I apologize in advance. As you can see here, you have your upper cord and your bottom cord. The bottom cord will come to the left-hand side, and you're going to loop. Always the cord that comes under will be the loop, and then again repeat the process. This can also be reversed with the opposite end of the design. It looks very nice. This is what it'll look like if you do it that way. You'll have like matching patterns of the core strand and the accent color, always above and below. And as always, with the starting of the green always comes over the top. I'm going to continue this. I apologize if I'm a little bit quiet. You always want to make sure that your green is right next to the other loop, as it looks a lot nicer. You don't want to pull too tight on it, but you still want to pull it tight and tie it off. Excuse me. I'll give you a brief demonstration of this when it's completed. At the end. Please do consider liking this video, commenting, and also please share it. If you know anybody who would like to make it, share it with them. And also possibly, if you like to see more videos, do please consider subscribing. Let me see if I could break my record. I attempted to do this last night, but unfortunately the storage space on my phone got filled up, so I had to delete it, and it failed 3 times. So I apologize for not releasing this yesterday, and I appreciate you for liking this video. Did I do something wrong? Let me take that back out. Okay, there we go. Thought I goofed up on that one. I do tend to use more than I need when making these bracelets, because it's always the first attempt. But because of this one here, this is going to be the second attempt. So I will link in the description below the exact cord measurements, as I always do. Okay. It looks about right, but the accent cord does seem a bit on the long side. And what I always recommend people to do, always start this off with like a pair of test cords. That way you're not making any mistakes on the cord length. After you do the test cords, always try to measure off of the test cords what slack you have left over. Always make an even amount, as I do here. These are at 7 feet on both of them. What it looks like to me, the accent color, the mint green, looks about 2.5 to 3 feet more than what I needed, and the left side looks about 1.5 feet. Like I said, I started off both of them with 7 feet. So on the accent color, you want to minus off about like 2 feet to 2.5 feet. Always take a measurement of about like 3 to 4 fingers. If you always take a rough estimate. Okay, that comes through there, this comes over, this goes down and under. Okay, that'll be the last one on this. You can do any number of things. What I did on this one here was I pulled a little extra under and I cut here, and at the sides right here and right there. When I cut it off, like the upper chords, you'll cut right to the inside edge of the accent color, and the bottom side over here, I will show you right now. And also, this is what the bottom side looks like. It looks very nice. It can, in its own right, be done as a design as well, which I think looks pretty dope. The bottom chords, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run them underneath these two chords right here, this green right here, and the desert tan right here. I'm going to run them, and I'm going to cut and cinch. And I'm going to try to flatten them out. On the opposite side, on the upper chords, I'm going to cut this like right here, and this one like right here, and mushroom head them up against the sides. Okay, let me go ahead and do this. You can, however, cut and cinch at the bottom here and just leave them hanging off a little bit. Might add a little bit flair to it. But what I'm going to do is bring them underneath these two chords right here. Okay, let me get my plier. I'm going to take that underneath. I'm going to take one at a time. I'm going to take the tan colored one first. And I'll pull that through underneath. You can do this in many different ways. I prefer doing it this way. And it holds pretty well. Now let me get the other one in here. You can use fids for the ending here. I prefer using pliers. Come on. Okay, there goes that one. I'm going to leave a little bit of slack on them. Okay. As you can see here, I flatten them out. Flattening them out does help and prevents from scraping on the underside of your wrist. You can, however, bullet tip them and just leave them out. Alright, let me go with this green one now. I'm going to take that. I'm going to try to cut it as close to the end as possible. And then I'm going to cut that off. Looks like I'll probably need some new scissors soon as well. As you can see here, I try to burn it to the point where all the white is out, and blends in pretty good when you do it like almost close to what it looks like. Okay. And as you can see, it blends in pretty well. You can't really see any of the cords that much. You can hide them, however, a little bit better than what I did here. And there we go. Go ahead and try it on. And there we go. That is the Iskallium Paracord bracelet. And as always, thank you. And have a nice day.